know what it is that I ask.
Just because we saw that doesn't mean it will be true. The vision of you falling. Armin's trying to...
The visions aren't from Armin.
But they don't have to be true. No one can tell you the future.
If this is your first time here, welcome. If you came back, or if you came from one of the previous videos, then welcome back. This time I do have a bit of a structure, because rambling on for, I think it was 8 minutes, wasn't very fun. So after recording my previous videos, I've actually decided to revise how I'm going to do this. I'm setting up some kind of like structure this way. It's just so that I don't like ramble too much during these empty spaces. Also, I realized that I was repeating myself during some sections because I wasn't following like some sort of guideline during these sections. So I've actually decided to go with a plan that I had initially that I scrapped, which is like writing a short paragraph or bullet points and then just elaborating on that if I need to and if it's possible. But it's like a nice mixture. I think it's a nice mixture between the two, or a nice blend between the two, where I don't have to worry too much that I'm gonna read something, but it at least gives me a guideline of what I can talk about in these sections, and it stops me from repeating myself too much, because as I was reviewing what I was recording, I realized, oh, I said that already. But even though it's not something that I'm too happy about, it's annoying enough for me to have learned something from it. I think this video is going to be more about revising what I did in the previous two videos, and if they worked, if they didn't work, and how I plan to tackle them in the future.
Spire of Dreams.
Yeah? Here's me hoping I'll wake up from all this.
It was beautiful. I used to play here as a child. Sometimes I'd spend the night at the top.
Were you as serious then as you are now?
Dreams were all I had time for. The fertile ground is at the top. We can use that plate to get to the next level, where a mechanism will allow us to go further.
Welcome to my spire of dreams. A place to be beautiful, a place of love. Welcome to my spire.
There. That mechanism will take us to the next floor of the tower.
This is a light. You should put these in across the rest of the kingdom.
What have we here? Are they real, or are they a dream?
Go! Find her! I'll follow when I can.
Catch me if you can. Only kidding. Come and find me, little man.
This is getting personal.
Here, then gone. What are your dreams, little man? What fantasies can I make true? What desires will you paint upon my canvas? Nice try, but wrong again.
I'm free!
Be careful! She's still around here somewhere.
Golden riches, tender kisses, power, strength. Close your eyes, my prince, my king, and we shall taste your dreams together. And you, princess? I know the dreams you dream. Your mind traveling distant lands, your body trapped in this decaying place. We are not so distant, you and I. We share many desires. She lives in a dream, my little man. Look at her kingdom. See her feet. Nothing left but a dream of what was. All a pretty dream. She will save a people. Ormazd will return. The city will shine again. Dream, dream. She sleeps in the day and will wake with the night. You, my little man, what do you need of dreams? Turn from dream, make your future reality.
That will take us to the top.
Let me know if you start to feel, stuck.
If I have to tell you that I can't move, we're both in trouble. Here we are. The concubine's around here somewhere.
We just lost our way out of here.
But why would you want to go? Now that would be polite. Not for a guest.
Where is she?
Just waiting for my prince.
Okay! Yes!
Your past is nothing. The dream is death.
I'm beginning to feel sorry for Ahriman. I mean, he's been trapped with her for 1,000 years? Do we need to pick up some more of these light seeds?
They will help us.
Settle down, find a girl, adventuring will kill you. I think my mother was right. she said about the dream being dead.
She's right. The dream of this place is past.
You mean you're giving up?
No. Ahriman must still be stopped, but not for the past.
You better not give up. There's no way you're gonna look so good if you end up covered in corruption and spouting stuff about Ahriman.
I look good, huh?
Oh, don't tell me you don't know. I've never met a beautiful woman who didn't know she was beautiful.
And I've never met a man who used flattery unless he wanted something.
You have such a suspicious mind.
No, I'm just nowhere near as naive as you think I am.
As you can see, this is my new approach to the quiet sections. I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna pan out because it's my first attempt, but I do feel like this approach will actually save me some time with choosing topics and what to talk about, because as I said, and again now I'm repeating myself, yeah, rambling on for more than 3 minutes isn't fun, but this does seem like the best way to go forward. And even though it seems a bit like weird right now, I do think it will actually work. So my thinking for the speed ramps is just to like remove a lot of the slow moving sections, but I don't want to speed it up to a point where you don't see what's going on. Like, I feel like this is a comfortable speed to see where I'm going to find all of the light seeds. It's slow enough for that, but it's fast enough to not I don't know, drag on for too long. And as I was kind of doing this, I started thinking about what I said previously, that spending time with these characters is something that I feel makes the experience of the game a bit more. I do realize that like some of these sections would last for an hour, and having to talk for an hour straight, I don't know if I was going to be able to do that. So I feel like, again, this is a nice, a decent approach to what my challenge was, and I'll see how it goes at the end. And the only issue that I'm coming across with doing this is I then need to actually, like, because I've recorded these things in segments, I need to now render a complete file, and then I can do a speed ramp on the sections that I need to speed ramp, meaning that I then have space for that, and my computer doesn't have a lot of space because I have a lot of games installed. But this is the best way that I can see this working. By doing this speed ramp, it actually prevents me from having to talk for like the hour, or in cases like this one, as I was doing the preparations, I saw that I would have to talk for 10 minutes. I thought that the previous one was hectic, but that kind of like made me think, no, I need to change something over here. And right now this approach seems like it's working well. I am noticing some issues here and there, like I think I'm getting some audio glitches, but that's a minor thing to deal with. I think it's a minor thing to deal with compared to what I had to deal with earlier. I prefer having a technical challenge compared to a delivery or writing challenge.
Blade's active. We're going to have to time it right to use it.
There were stairs here.
There aren't now. We're going to have to do this the hard way. We've got to climb all the way up this, haven't we?
There's a mechanism partway up that will take us to the top.
I'll go first. But hey, I'm staring at my ass. I felt you looking.
I thought you'd lost your ass.
Donkey. I can feel you looking.
Just climb the tower.
Welcome to my court. Do you come seeking favors or forgiveness? A blessing? Or something more? Listen, you can hear your time disappearing. I have an eternity for you, a few last moments.
grandfather used to wind yourself up and down here?
The guards did.
Oh yeah, if I was royalty, I'd get people to wind me up and down too. Amongst other things. Elika!
Why do you want a princess when you have a queen?
Elika, get up! Come on! What is she, my mother?
She's not coming back to this place.
So, this will be where you rule from, huh, princess?
This is my father's court. This is his land.
Princess against fake queen, the princess is the winner.
What is it that you want?
Huh?
She offered you your dreams.
Sure, and how long would that have lasted? I just want to get out of here. I want to find my donkey and I want to go home. What about you? What do you want?
Things to be as they were. We can't go back the way we came. We'll need to find another way. The Black Gate is opened.
Is that a good thing?
We can enter the corrupted sanctuary.
And once we heal the fertile ground there...
There is no fertile ground. The essence of that place will rest inside the corrupted.
And they're just gonna let us take it. Much more of this, and I'm gonna have to stop and sharpen this sword. Where's this Black Gate?
At the top of this region.
So before this combat and traversal section, the prince and Elika had an interaction about her looking at his butt as they were like traveling from place to place. And I remember hearing that the first time and just laughing, because also being like surprised because it's a side of Elika that she never showed before. Like she's not as stern as she appears to be. But I do think that that's because, like, obviously when they first met they were strangers, but at this point they've kind of like learned more about each other. So yeah, like that interaction made me like her character a bit more because she's not so like prim and proper, if I can put it that way. I remember this tower, or towers like these, giving me grief because you can see some of those light seeds are just chilling over there, meaning that I would have to come back to them. But in order to come back to them, I would actually have to make my way all the way up to the tower again. And yeah, like, even though sliding down it's not that challenging, it's just, this is, for some reason, this section of backtracking kind of like, I don't know, it put me off sometimes. I would finish a tower and then I would just like call it a day. As I was just reviewing the footage now, during that traversal section, I realized why I prefer all of the other powers besides I think it's the wings of Ormazd, because as you saw, the traversal section over here was like, it's responsive, it's quick, it doesn't last very long. You reach a plate, you interact with it, and then you move on to the next bit. Whereas with the wings of Ormazd, you kind of have to fly through sections, take your time with it, and it's just, I don't know, even though it's a very calming aspect of the game, it's slow, it's very slow. Whereas this is like, it's more up my alley, like it's much faster, and definitely one of my favorites. I'm not actually sure between the 4 power, or let me rather say between the 3 powers, which I prefer more, but this one is, I will say it's one of them. And even watching through it now, I like, if I had to see, if this was the only power in the game, I think I wouldn't mind it at all. It's quick, doesn't last very long, so yeah.
Now.
I think my biggest issue with the Wings of Ormazd is that sometimes it takes so long, and there are a lot of sections where you don't actually have to do much, that I kind of forget to pay attention that I need to move the prince at some point, and I just don't, and then I end up having to do it again, which is like, I don't know, it feels like a negative feedback loop.
So the black gate is open, just like that.
I can open it when we get there.
So, as I'm busy with this video, I remember saying something previously like, this approach might not actually require as much editing as the booklet reads and rambles, but based on what I've done before, like the previous two previous videos, I've learned that this actually requires the same amount, if not more, editing. It's just not like, I don't have to do a lot of video editing, but a lot of audio editing instead, which isn't that bad. It's just I wasn't accounting for that. I thought that maybe just talking over those sections would be fine, up until obviously learning that those sections would be maybe 10 minutes long, or if I didn't go along with this approach, it would be an hour long. So I'm glad that I actually made my first attempt, or my first 2 attempts at what this could be like, because obviously learning what these kinds of videos takes helps a lot.
Alika!
We're lucky.
I had it under control.
And watching now, just like quickly commenting on what just happened, like there are so many, how do I put it, the comments that Alika makes after saving the prince, some of them I'm like, I genuinely find funny, because I don't know, it's again, it shows a side of a character that either you don't see when you just beeline the story. So yeah, I'm slowly, like, even while playing the game, obviously I smile when hearing new things about the characters, but even like now, just reviewing it again, it's like I can't stop smiling, because it's almost like it's the first time that I'm hearing some of these lines, maybe while I was busy playing, I was so focused on like light seed collecting, traversing, not making a mistake, that I wasn't really paying attention. But I don't know, some of the lines are just like the way they were delivered or performed. I think it shows off a lot of the character. And watching now like how close Alika follows the prince, I've noticed like I think 5 times that she landed on his back, like feet first. I actually have an idea for a situation like that in the future now. I don't know how I'm gonna fit it in, but I'll try and fit it in because I think it could actually be funny. To be fair, I think that maybe it will feel a bit out of place when I do it, but I'm willing to risk it because I remember seeing it during my playthrough of like while I was busy playing on the PS3, and I thought maybe it's just a glitch over there, or I don't know, like maybe a processing issue. But then I saw that it happened on my PC playthrough as well, so I was like, okay, this is a consistent thing. You need to do this. You need to make this clip.
No.
What can you see? Is there something out there? This was your city.
The next fertile ground is...
Hey, stop. You must be...
What? Upset? Devastated?
angry. I don't know how you've held it together this far, but you need to keep holding it together or both of us are dead.
Have you finished understanding me?
I know you've lost things, and that makes your life feel worth less. But if you don't value your life, it's like you don't really care about the things you lost.
That's a pretty fine speech for someone who doesn't care about anything.
Well, it should be a fine speech. It cost me 2 silver pieces from a fortune teller in Babylon. Keep the anger, Princess. Stay alive, and let's find something you can hit.
That interaction between the prince and Alika always felt a bit weird to me, and even watching it now, it still feels a bit strange. I don't know, it's just the way that Alika kind of like responds to the prince when he's trying to offer some help. It feels very like hostile, whereas like at this point in the game, the two of you have like, you've grown closer and you're helping each other. So I never got why I mean, I get why she's upset, but taking it out on the prince like that never really made sense to me. So whenever I would reach this section, I would realize maybe I should have actually done this earlier, just to, I don't know, make the dialogue not feel so out of place, because it would make sense if it happened maybe, I don't know, before you tackle the Spire of Dreams. I don't know, maybe it's just the joke that they made about the butt that kind of makes me think that they are closer than they are. And now this interaction happens where she just kind of gets a little bit hostile with him, and it just feels a bit weird.
I think we just found another way to get killed. Is this ever going to stop?
Not until Ahriman is stopped. When the corrupted are pushed from this city forever. Let's go on.
I think the fights against the warrior are actually my favorite fights in this game, because it's not a straightforward fight or chip away at his health. It's like a combat puzzle in a way. You need to think about what your environment is.
Are you aiming for me?
I mean, the game tells you that, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the fights against the warrior are like memorable, which is like, it's a good and a bad thing, because as I said in my previous video, the combat encounters aren't that complicated, but when they are kind of complicated, they stand out. And unfortunately, that means that your second playthrough, you already know what to do, so there's no like surprise tactic or anything like that. You've played it before, you know what to do, and now just do it again. There's no like, oh, I never tried this approach. It's always, okay, you know what the approach is, now do it again. It doesn't make the fight any easier sometimes, because I'm not sure if it's this fight or a different fight, but I do remember actually taking some time to finish it off. and it was actually surprising because again, it's the solution always stays the same. So I don't know why it took me that long to like complete the combat encounter. But yeah, I feel like the warriors fights always stood out for me, and even now they still do.
Unless you have any ideas, we're gonna end up really squishy really soon.
We have to trap them.
I was on my way home. Elika, you want to hurry with the healing? He's gone. You had a cage in your city square?
Of course. How do you think we scared our children? Be good, or you'll go in the cage and Ahriman will get you.
For real?
We kept animals in it for market, you idiot.
Well, when you rebuild this place, you should build a few more of them. It came in handy.
The city is gone. It was gone well before now.
Then what will you do?
Right now, we have to take care of the present. And that starts with us getting out of here.
I know I said something earlier about like a sync issue, or I'm coming across some issues because of the speed ramping method that I'm using now. But as I'm continuing, I'm noticing that it's not there anymore. I'm not exactly sure what changed, but I guess it's not something that I need to be concerned about. And as I'm watching this, I realize that like I'd actually like a game with this kind of speed, but the fluidity that it has, because I know like playing through this, I was kind of getting a bit like impatient with how sluggish it could feel sometimes. But just watching it now, or like reviewing it now, I realize that like the speed is something that like interests me, and that actually like it made me think of this game, The Pathless, which I haven't played yet, but it's something that I want to give a try at some point. There's also a new game called I think it's Haste, where it's again like fluidity is like the main draw of that game. The only I'm gonna say issue, for lack of a better word, is that it looks like it's an on the rails type of game, but it's still something that I'd like want to give a try at some point, because like looking at how you just traverse at these speeds, it's interesting to me, because it's like you have to think fast. How do I navigate the environment and just make sure that I don't mess up. But I also do understand that you would need to like play the game multiple times to actually get to that point and to like just be able to read the landscape without making any major mistakes. But yeah, other than that, like this reviewing process I find it a bit interesting because there are things that are like I'm rediscovering, I guess, and as I'm watching I also realize that it makes me think of other things or like other games or maybe features that this game could have implemented, but ways that this type of game can be improved by maybe even including like a game speed setting, but that might also just ruin what the developers were aiming for when they made the game in the first place. It was made to be like slower paced, take your time, look at the environment, talk to the characters. So maybe the game speed thing wouldn't have worked for what they were going for, but for me personally, I would have liked something like that.
What's up there?
The Tower of Ahriman has been abandoned for a long time. I've never seen what's inside.
Well, then this is a great time for you to find out.
So speaking about games that are similar to like that give you the sense of flow and has a sense of fluidity as well, I remember in my booklet read I spoke about Motor Slice, where it's taken inspiration from this game specifically when it comes to its traversal. Like even when you're like mounting up sections like this, the animations look similar. I'm not trying to say that they're copycats or anything like that. It's just I noticed like it seems very similar, but I mean it's not like it's a new movement that they're introducing. It's like we need them to climb up a ledge or whatever. Cool, here you go. But I do know that like I said back then that it just felt weird that they're taking inspiration from this, where this one kind of feels a bit clunky, which I know kind of contradicts what I'm saying with the whole fluidity thing, but that's also another option. If I'm looking for a game that's like that has a similar sense of flow and speed, because that game does look a little bit faster. I don't know why that didn't come to mind first when I was thinking about like games similar to this. It was, for some reason, Haste was the one that came to mind first. I mean, there are multiple games that have similar traversal mechanics and that do it faster. Games like the Ghost Runner franchise, which is also a series that I want to get into at some point, but right now, not yet.
We did it.
Hey, I did it.
I gave you moral support.
This little tangent of talking about other games with a similar traversal system actually made me realize that I tend to like not branch out that much when it comes to games that I want to play. It's very rare. I actually realize now that I replay a lot of my games. I mean, I look out for new games and all that, but for the most part it's like I know what to expect gameplay wise from past games, and I know the systems that I like, so I'm just gonna go back to that. I think I do want to change that a little bit, but yeah, for now I guess I'm just replaying what I have.
Any suggestions?
We need to find a way to go up.
Thanks for that.
I'm gonna take this tangent of replaying games a little bit further because nothing that I have like planned for this section seems appropriate. So I like replaying games because I'm not playing for the sake of like learning what the game has to teach me anymore. I've already played it, I've discovered what the game has in store, but now replaying it, I'm kind of like approaching it as, okay, what else does the game have to teach me? Is there something that I could have maybe done differently? Is there a different way of approaching this puzzle or this mechanic? Like even during this playthrough of this game, I realized that I was doing some things that just seemed a bit weird, but I think what I was doing then was actually just like figuring out if maybe I can bypass certain traversal sections. Maybe instead of doing what the game tells me, like if it expects me to do 2 wall runs to cross this gap, I would instead try and have Alika throw me to the other ledge instead. Even in this case, I would like, even though I'm replaying the game, I'm trying out different things, seeing if maybe the next time I play it, is there a method that I can use that like speeds up certain things. Like, as I said before, the edge knockouts, that's something that I only learned during this playthrough, and it's something that I'm going to use a lot, because as I keep on complaining about it, the combat isn't something that I always look forward to, unless again it's a fight against the warrior. But for the most part, it's like next playthroughs I'm just gonna edge knock out everybody, because it's an optimal way of kind of just getting through those segments.
How did he get up here?
Who cares? Push him back down! Push him back to the edge! Force him off the tower! Now!
She's my straight man. I need her for the double.
Don't give them the advantage.
Where are they? People are gone. That has to hurt. You want to heal this place before he finds a way back up here? Hey, Ahriman! This isn't your tower anymore! This is my tower! Can I have my own tower? You know, maybe with an inscription? Nothing too fancy, just Tower of the Savior of the City of Light. Oh, and a few priestesses dedicated to its upkeep. And mine.
If you stay, all this can be yours.
Yeah, sure it can.
Let's go and save your city.
I think also this whole idea of like replaying games might stem from, I don't know, me trying to stay within my comfort zone, because obviously the games that I'm replaying, I've played them before, so I know what to expect from them. A lot of the time when I try newer games or new games, it's franchises or genres that I'm comfortable with. I do think that like I'm kind of slowly stepping away from that. Like, I want to try more games that I'm not too comfortable with, and this whole thing of like trying to make content from games, actually it's going to force me to have to do that at some point, and I don't see that as like a negative. It's just something that I noticed and I'm kind of excited for, because obviously there are going to be games that I can play where I've played them before, I know what to do, but I'm keen to see like how I tackle some games that I've never played before and what the outcome is like. And yeah, I've kind of set up a schedule for what I want to play when, and I'm keen to see how that actually turns out for the rest of this experience.
By the Black Gate is open, you meant...
It will be open once we go there. Ahriman can no longer take the energy from the fertile grounds here. The gate will open.
And speaking about stepping out of like comfort zones, might be oversharing right now, but like this video, this this series of games, so let me rather say that this entry, it's kind of forced me out of that a little bit, because if you've watched any of the previous videos that I've uploaded, I don't talking most of them besides the booklet reads, and again that's very like limited talking. It's just reading what the booklet has and just kind of giving my thoughts at the end of it. But over here I'm forced to just talk about something, even though I try and make it as relevant to what's happening on screen. Sometimes that's a bit tricky because there's only so much that I can think about, which forces me to then, like, unfortunately ramble a bit. But at the same time, it does, again, as I think I've said this before, it teaches me to just think on the fly about like what I can talk about. So yeah, like, even though having to rewatch all of this again every now and then to kind of figure out what I'm going to say, it is teaching me a lot, and it's definitely forcing me out of my comfort zone. I'm enjoying aspects of it, and I'm enjoying what I'm learning from it, but there are some cases where I'm just thinking, why am I still going through with this? There's no reason for this whole process to be this difficult. Maybe I should actually just cut out all the voice work and just make it an hour-long video of gameplay like the previous ones. But I want to see it through to the end and see what I can learn from this, because sometimes I'm actually like, I don't want to make it sound like a bad thing, but there are many cases where I'm actually having fun with this whole process, but I think there are more headaches than fun moments. I do remember saying something about like a funny edit earlier, and it's actually coming up soon. I don't know, it's something that really I feel like I want others to see, because for some reason whenever I saw it happen on the PS3 or on my PC playthrough, I just thought, you know what, I should actually make this thing like I should make it tangible, for lack of a better word, because it's stuck in my head, and I feel like I want it to be stuck in your head as well now.
Going up!
I know it's silly, but I just needed to get that out of my system.
How could Ormazd allow it?
I thought not understanding was part of the whole faith and God thing. I mean, they do things. You don't know why. It's a bit like dating.
I mentioned something earlier about like beelining the traversal and story during this playthrough, and I would basically like overlook certain aspects of the game. It's not actually something that I'm very happy about, because I like paying attention to what I'm doing, and I think that's just something that I did because I'm familiar with the game, and I kind of wanted to just get as much done as possible as fast as I could, because I didn't want to waste time, especially because I knew that I wanted to do the 1001 light seed collecting, and unfortunately, like, by doing that was already gonna take some time, and I didn't want to, I don't know, take too long with anything else. I think it did maybe sour my playthrough this time. Like, I don't know, that light seed collecting definitely put a dampener on wanting to work on this more, if I can put it like that. But yeah, like, I think the whole thing of like beelining this just for content didn't help at all. But I do think that like next time, if I do decide to do something like this, I'll find a different approach. But I mean, if I didn't do it that way, then I probably wouldn't have found a solution as the speed ramping solution, and I would have had to learn that with some other video game. So not a complete like mess up, just unfortunately this had to be the game where my experience was a little bit soured by what I needed to do. And I think like it's not that bad of a solution, because most of it is just backtracking. Like, as I'm busy watching this right now, I think I've done this portion of the traversal like 3 or 4 times already, and it's again just to go and find those light seeds that I maybe overlooked by mistake, or I was in too much of a hurry. And again, because I'm not paying attention, I'm too focused on just like getting done with the current task. But saying that out loud, I also realized that I'm gonna have to do this again at some point, the 1001 light seed collecting, because I want to platinum this game. It's not gonna be anytime soon, but yeah, saying that out loud as well, I'm just thinking, oh, this is gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a pain. As I'm busy watching the footage now, I realized like I appreciate the fact that the developers made it like easy for you to find all these light seeds. Like, if you just took the time to look around your environment and see where they've placed the light seeds, you'll find them. And that actually explains a lot why I missed a lot of it. It's because I was in a rush, or I was rushing myself. But I think a lot of the ones that I struggled with, I'll be able to find easier, because it's this weird thing where if I struggle with something in a game, it tends to like stick with me much easier than like an easy solution, because most of the easy solutions are just like they are obvious. But a lot of the harder things, or the more challenging things, they tend to stick with me a bit more, because I've tried so many different solutions or options, none of them worked, so what was the correct one? And that's what's gonna stick with me. I think that's a cool like approach for gamers to kind of like just look more at the environment, because I do think they put in a lot of effort in the design. So kind of just forcing your player, not in a bad way, just like getting your player to take a moment, look at the environment. They kind of appreciate what you've designed, but also it gives them time to just like actually look at where all the light seeds are. At this point in time, I've watched the developer diaries and I've looked at the booklet, like just briefly skimmed over it, and I think I'm gonna start reading from those and going over what I thought about the developer diaries in the next video. There seems to be a lot. It's more than I was actually expecting, but I prefer that because I know that there's something that I can like comment on during the quiet sections of the game, whereas right now it's again just trying to figure out what to say. So yeah, starting from chapter 3A, I'll be reading from the game's manual and giving my thoughts on what I learned from the developer diaries. But I think it's mostly gonna be just like me commenting on whether or not what they've set up for the game and why they set it up was actually achieved. Because I know as I was watching it, there were moments where I thought that could have actually been done a bit differently. But that is like, I guess that's one of the benefits of hindsight. But yeah, I'm keen to see how the next portion of the series actually goes. So there will be less rambling, hopefully, and more of a informative setup, if I can put it like that.
This will allow us to reach fertile ground in the City of Light and the Vale. Are you ready?
Once again, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you for watching. I know that there were a lot of moments where I was like repeating myself. I'm not even sure where they are at this point, but this approach is helping a lot, and I'm keen to see what else I can improve on going forward. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.